we are going to be talking about living the life. So my first question is, who here would say that one of their main reasons for selling Cutco is because of the lifestyle opportunity? The beautiful thing about Cutco is you can literally do whatever you want if you decide to create that, right? So the three people that we're bringing up we're bringing them up for a couple of reasons. First off, their age is first off, they're just all just awesome. Okay. Second reason is because they are utilizing the Cutco opportunity to best serve their values and what's important to them. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce them one at a time, and then when you guys come up, just grab a chair, and then you're good to go. So first one I'm going to introduce really quick is Matt Graves. So first off, like, he's basically Superman, and he looks like Superman too. So he's got that going for him. But a couple things about Matt. He sold $2.9 million, almost $3 million with the Cutco, casually. He finished number 1 as an All-American, not 1, not 2, but 4 times. It's pretty awesome. He graduated debt-free from Cal State, San Marcos. He also only took him 6 years to hit a Hall of Fame as well. He also has had back-to-back 500K years. And at the same time, just this last December, he sold $120,000 in a month. Some people are like, wow, that's a good campaign. Matt's like, yep, oops. I did that in 5 weeks, casual. All right, what I love about Matt, though, is that he's a no BS kind of guy. I love that he doesn't make excuses. And the great thing about it, when he accomplishes all the things that he accomplishes, you'll never hear him like brag about it, right? One of the most humble people that I've met. Okay, so Matt's going to be specifically talking on this panel about the Cutco opportunity to create a high-level income, to live a versatile lifestyle, and also travel the world in the process. Okay, so we're going to bring Matt up first. Also, one thing that I just really honor and respect about Matt is that he's been just being awesome and traveling all over the world. He went to Cambodia, went to Thailand, went to Berlin, just a bunch of crazy places in 2018. And I love the fact that you bring your family. That's so dope. Like, your mom probably appreciates the hell out of that, and I love that. Okay, next person. Luke freaking Mills. Cool hand Luke. Woo, woo, woo. We got some Luke Mill fans in the house. Look, you see, hey, amen, amen. Get an amen. Get an amen. All right, so he sold $2 million with the Cutco, paid for his college at ASU. He was able to be completely debt-free by the year of 2013, while also buying a house in 2013. No big deal. He also invented this little thing called the service event program. I'm big fans of that. Yeah, I like that. So what I absolutely love about Luke is he is the poster dad, right? Like, he adores his kids. Okay, and those freaking kids love him so much back, which is amazing. Okay, family pizza nights every Friday night on Snapchat. It's a highlight of my week, and I'm not even in Arizona. It's amazing. So what I love about Luke is that he's taken the Cutco opportunity and created a life where he is the family man, right? He's not just a dad; he's a cool dad, right? I'm just not a dad; I'm just a cool dad, right? So he, at the same time, has also had the ability to be at home in the evening with his wife, Caitlin, and his kids, which is ultimately bringing them super close as a family, right? They embody the idea of hashtag family goals. That's the Mills, okay? So round of applause for Luke Mills. All right. Last but not least, Josh Mueller. We've got some Josh Mueller fans in the house. This dude has sold $5.6 million worth of the Cutco. That's so many knives. I can't even realize it, okay? So a couple things that I love about Josh, okay? He's going to be talking about how he's created the Cutco opportunity and created multiple streams of income. He doesn't have one stream, not 2 streams, not 3 streams, not 4 streams of income. He has 8. 8. Okay? You hear the average millionaire has 7 flows of income? Okay, he's got 8. Okay? The great thing about Josh is he's always giving back. One of the things that I love most about Josh is that he, for a really long time, never asked for anything in return, just gave. And one of his streams of income now is his coaching program, right? Because he's provided so much value, right, that people want that, and they have to pay for it. It's amazing. And the great thing is, even though he has a coaching program, he still gives back a ton. So Josh is going to be talking about creating and taking advantage of the Cutco opportunity and using it to creating multiple flows of income. So round of applause for Josh Mueller. There it is. Okay, cool. We're gonna give this to Matt first. All right, Matt. So first off, I just want you to just kind of give some ideas on kind of what you've done to create the high levels of income that you've had. He only worked 175 days last year, guys. 175 days, and you sold how much?
590.
590. Couldn't get 600. Pathetic. I'm just kidding. All right, go ahead, Matt.
Cool. What's up, guys? So one thing I wanted you to write down is your life will change the day you fully commit to this opportunity. And so for me, whenever I was in college and I decided to go CSP full time, that's my life really changed because I really just embraced the opportunity that Cutco gives you for income, flexibility, and freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. And ever since then, life's been great and it keeps getting better. So I am committed to building a lifestyle around my passions. And that's why you see me traveling. Obviously, fitness is a huge part of my life, and family and friends. So for me, if you're not like fulfilling your passions while doing this job, you're not truly succeeding the way you can. So I define my success at the end of the year with how much time I took off and how much I followed through on my commitments to my passions. Like, your sales mark is a great thing, and obviously you should always look to grow your business. But my question for you is, like, if you were to take away your sales for the year, what defined your year? Who would you be? And so really think about that. It might force you to kind of get out and do a little bit more for yourself and for your passions and for your happiness. So for me, I did have my best year ever, just under 600 grand in sales. I worked 179 days in 2018. And on top of that, I did a 14-week prep for my men's physique show. I competed in 2 different men's physique contests. One was a national show. And just to highlight some of my travel, just in 2018, I went to Berlin, Munich, Prague, Budapest, Puerto Vallarta, Seattle, San Francisco, Jamaica, did a ski trip in Colorado, Vegas 3 times. I was a groomsman in 2 different weddings, Alaska, Hawaii, Cancun, Japan for 3 weeks, and then I just got back from taking my mom and my brother to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand for the last 3 weeks. I know, right? And I didn't want to say that to brag. I wanted just to show you, like, when you fully commit to this opportunity, what your lifestyle could look like if you plan for it. And there's a lot more fun stuff coming up in 2019, but I'll just save that. So Cutco is simply just a vehicle for me to live the lifestyle that I want. And I've actually defined what my passions are, which makes it easier for me to fulfill that. So just to share with you, fitness. As you can tell, fitness and health is like my lifestyle. Bodybuilding is almost like a full-time job for me. So if I'm not selling Cutco, I'm probably working out. Family and friends. Nothing makes me more excited or more happy than earning time off to spend with my family and friends. So like, I constantly entertain people at my house. Family and friends come over. And then obviously if I have the opportunity to go do something with them and experience life with them, I do that. Travel. Obviously travel is like what I live for. And so for me, earning time off to travel is probably where I'm like the happiest and most, fulfilled. And, whenever I'm in different countries and just seeing different cultures, tasting different food, meeting different people, like, it makes me realize how big this world is. And I think sometimes we get so lost and so confined with our daily lifestyle. We do the same routine, we go to the same job, we see the same places, the same people, and we just feel like the city we live in is the whole world. And we just don't get to see all these other experiences, all these other beautiful places, and it really just humbles you, but makes you appreciate what you have and what you don't have. So my advice is you got to travel more. So here's my tips. I know we only have 10 minutes. So my question, write this down, is how do you know what your passions are? And the way to figure that out is simply with this question right here. If you didn't have to work for a living, what would you spend your time doing every day? So when you think about when you're not having to earn money, what would you spend your time doing and who would you be doing it with? And that might help you figure out what you're passionate about in your life. If I got paid to go to the gym every single day and work out, I'd be a happy man. If I got paid to go travel the world and experience life to its fullest, I'd be a happy man. And so when you figure that stuff out, it makes it easier to plan your business to build the lifestyle that you want. So here's a couple tips on how to make your passions part of your life. Number one is you need to have a business plan. Here's why. When you know your business goals, you know your key events, and you plan that out for the whole year, you have clarity in where your income and where your CPO is going to come from. So weekly, monthly, campaign, your year, know where your business is going to come from. After that, identify what your life goals around your business is going to look like. So what are your financial goals? What are your fitness goals? Personal growth goals? Relationship goals? And then for me, obviously, I have travel goals. I actually plan where I want to travel every single year. Kind of weird, right? The next big tip I have is you need to plan strategically on your days off. I have so many friends that work in Cutco that just take a day off, but they don't strategically plan what that day off looks like. And what happens is we don't have a purpose for that day off. You kind of have that regret of, should I be working more? Should I just make more calls? Should I just keep checking these emails? And you exhaust your mind and you're mentally just kind of like exhausted on your day off. It doesn't feel like you earned that day off. So for me, my days off are actually filled with passions. Golfing, snowboarding in the winter, hanging out with family and friends, going to the gym, working out, traveling, right? I purposely plan my days off so I can look forward to them. And I always have 2 to 3 days off a week if I can. And so when I work, I work. I fully commit to the work and I want to maximize my results at my events. But when the days come that I'm taking it off, I feel great. I'm happy because I earned it and I want to fully be present with what I'm doing on my days off. The next thing is you want to have systems in place. So start delegating your small tasks. Know what your hourly worth is so that you can spend less time doing things that you can pay other people to do for you. And that way you just focus on what matters and what's going to provide and produce for yourself. A couple things I've done is let Vast Action take care of a lot of things. Texting Base has been one of my best friends for scheduling and communicating with customers. Acuity for my online scheduling for service events. Having assistants, and then having some service reps take care of service calls. So I've literally delegated things that I can stop doing so that I can be better at what I'm really good at doing, and that's selling behind the booth. The last thing is have a system for accountability. So once you have your business plan, your life goals, your business goals, once you've delegated all these small tasks, and once you're prepared and have clarity in what your year is going to look like, share that, right? Share that with your coworkers, your best friends. Most importantly, share it with your circle of influence, right? The people that are actually going to keep in touch with you about your goals. Share it with your family so they know what you're up to for the year and they're not surprised when you have to miss that wedding that's during your biggest event of the year. Your family and friends are like everything for you, so make sure they're in communication with why you're working so hard and what it means to you. Review it weekly so you're in alignment throughout the year, and just make sure that you remember why you're getting up every single day. And if you have clarity in your goals, life, business, relationships, getting out of bed is a lot easier in the morning because there's a purpose, right? You're not just going through the motions. Everything's intentional. So that's what I have for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I totally am judging now that you work 179 days, not 175. Totally pathetic. Oh my God. Still, yeah. Okay. All right. I just want to honor Matt. Like bodybuilding is it is absolutely a full-time job. So it's like we get to eat whatever we want, whenever we want. And for 14 weeks, he's got like this psycho diet that just blows my freaking mind. It's like, God. So on top of that, being able to sell $590,000 is absolutely incredible. So I'll just give it up one more time for Matt. All right, Luke, give us those nugs to become hashtag family goals.
Well, I'm grateful to be here, and I love this company. I love you guys, and I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude right now. So, thank you. So, for the last 5 years, my wife and I have been growing our family, and I just love that we've been growing the Vector family. There are going to be 30 kids in the Bahamas, and mine for sure will not be there because I need some time off. Hell no. But for the last 5 years, having 3 children in 4 years will put you into a zone of pressure that is very fascinating. You can easily lose yourself in. And it's been, really not having any other choice other than having to take control and making this work for my wife and I. And it's really beautiful because from that pressure has come many diamonds, if you will, right? The coal to diamonds with pressure. And that's, just think about service events. That is 100% a program that came from from the idea of my commitment to serving my customers and not limiting that to only 5, 6, 8 people a day and killing myself over it and not having any energy for when I come home to be with the people that matter most. So that's just one example. So for the last 4 years, I've dedicated 4 days a week to working. I am committed to not bringing that work home, and I'm committed to coming home in a way where I am enabled to be 100% present. This week, been asked many times, how's the wife, how's the kids? And I gotta tell you, it's awesome. Everything is great. This year has been the best year so far, and I 100% believe that is because of the level of intentionality and presence that we have brought to this year. So I'm gonna share with you 3 tips that I've been able to use over the last 3 years to be able to utilize this vehicle to bring a high level of happiness into my life. And that maybe if you are struggling with Vector, if you're struggling with happiness, if you're struggling with just who you are and what you're doing and where you're being, I just want to acknowledge that you're in the right place. Here are my 3 tips. Number 1, intentionality. Live proactively. What does this mean? This means that intentionality is the art of making your own choices before others' choices make you. Just like working out. If you leave anything to just the feeling in the moment, guess what? We're weak. It rarely works out. Never go. I actually been enjoying working out, but I just think back to college. If I had to decide in the moment if I wanted to study for an exam or go out with friends, there's a reason why it took 6 years for me to get my bachelor's. My level of intentionality was low. So the next time you're struggling with whether you should phone or not, the next time you're struggling with whether you should get out of bed or not, realize that struggle most likely comes from the fact that you're trying to make an important decision in that moment. And just give yourself permission to make that decision in that moment for how you will respond in the future. Number 2, Attitude of gratitude. Perception is the lens through which we experience life. When the big things feel out of control, focus on what you love right under your nose. I love you, Matt Foss. That freaking message, dude. This man, I tried to be supportive during his accident. I had to call your parents and tell them that you might be dead. That was one of the worst calls I've ever had to make because they wouldn't even tell me. And I try to be supportive, but like the attitude of gratitude that Matt brought, dude, that was a huge support for me. It's powerful. Number 3, think big and act small. The purpose of goals is to understand how to act appropriate in the moment. How are you acting right now? And is it alignment with your goals? Are you being fully present? Be the CEO of your life. Just think about how someone's time responsibility is in direct proportion to their influence. Are you showing up like the hourly wage worker of your life? Just showing up, doing what others tell you to do, living from hour to hour? Or are you like the manager who maybe thinks about setting the schedule 2 weeks out for everyone else, and so your capacity of time is really on like a every other week or a monthly kind of calendar? To the area manager that worries more about quarterly reports and what have you, annual reports? Or are you the CEO and you're not worried about what's happening in the moment? You are already designing where your business is going to be 10 years from now. Be the CEO of your life. What does this mean? This means when you can ask bigger questions, why limit yourself to, hey, what are my 2019 resolutions? What are my life resolutions? Who do I want to be in 10 years? What do I want to do? What kind of impact do I want to have? What do I want to own? That's a great freaking question to ask, and it's totally okay. Who do I want to be around? Who do I want to be to others? How do I want to feel? And then you can use one of the words that all of our coaching clients always give me a hard time for, but I love it, and that's reverse engineer. Guess what? You get some clarity on who you want to be and what you want to have. And by the way, it is not usually a very clear picture, but when you can get a general direction, just like a missile correcting itself over tens of thousands of miles, just thousands of little micro adjustments, those missiles these days are able to land with exact precision, and you have the ability to do that as well. So how are you going to manage it? Well, guess what? If you have a 10-year kind of general direction, you probably have a little bit of a more clear 5-year plan. With a 5-year plan, you probably can ask yourself this very important question. What do I need to do this year to align with that plan? Who do I need to be? What skill sets do I need to have? What actions do I need to take? And then you reverse engineer. Most people think you operate on one calendar. I try and teach my coaching clients how to operate on 5. What is your daily calendar? What is your weekly calendar? What is your monthly calendar? What is your campaign or quarterly calendar? And what is your annual calendar? The beautiful thing is that you have an amazing workshop that a lot of my coaching clients go through. And it's a 7Fs document. And a lot of that was because of Josh and his hard work. So thank you, Josh. And that document, if you go through that, will help design some clarity around what you want in life. From there, you can design some action steps. You should be able to clearly define if that action step is a one-off action step or if it's a repeatable action step, and then define which of the 5 calendars it goes into. The best thing is when you have a badass calendar that's aligned with all the actions that align with your goals, you don't have to stop. You can stop thinking about what you need to do, and all you have to do is show up, be present, and be happy. I'll leave you with this last quote because it's been very powerful for me, and that is simply, I will give up what I want to get what I want more.
Of that. Round of applause for Luke. So what I want to say really quick about Luke is that, so what he talks about with the CEO lifestyle, so how pumped Luke is about his life right now, I want everybody to notice that is not by accident. Okay? I don't have 3 kids, and I don't feel like I have control of my life like Luke does. I have 3 little minions running around asking me if they want freaking milk, okay? So anyway, my point is, I want you guys to notice that, and I've seen this difference in Luke in the last 4 or 5 years. Like you can see that he is put into action. He's treated his life as a CEO on what he wants his life to look like. And his life, he wanted it to look like less time on the road and less time away from his family. And that's why service events are a thing. That's so amazing, right? So last but certainly not least, Josh, let's blow some faces up. Let's go.
Thanks,
Give us the
Bert.
nuggets, brother.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Luke. I just want to say I really love that we got 2 guys up here who, like Luke and Caitlin, are taking their first vacation to the Bahamas with all of us in a month. Your first vacation in years, right, without kids? So yeah, in over a year without kids. And then, you know, Matt Graves in a month has taken like his 25th vacation in the last year. So I think it's really awesome. And he doesn't even have a kid, so that's awesome. But all right, so I think it's always important to identify like what is someone's goals. These guys have done such a great job. My goal with Cutco, people ask all the time, like, why are you still doing this? What are you really working towards? What's the purpose? Here's my mission statement, right? My mission, my goal is to intentionally leverage my Cutco business to live the lifestyle of my dreams. And that's it, plain and simple. And I think that if you want to do that, it really starts with getting crystal clear on what you want. And I think all of us know like how to do that. Like, what do you want this year? What's your goal? What's your 5-year? What's your 10-year? Where do you see yourself being? But then I think the step that most of us don't take because nobody's ever told us to, or we forget to, or whatever, it's also about connecting and defining how your Cutco business can help you get it. So, you know, why are you here beyond the money, beyond the prizes and recognition? Why are you here like beyond the, you know, just the Cutco? What is this really doing for you long term? So, anybody that knows Amy and her story and has read her book understands that she comes from dirt poor poverty, that she's had to really make it on her own. She basically raised herself, educated herself, and everything she's accomplished in life, she's done on her own. And I remember years ago, Amy said to me, she said, hey, like we were sitting in our house in Tulsa, like I was selling $100,000 a year maybe, and she was getting ready to close down her office, and she was like, hey, do you really think this Cutco thing can work out for us? And I remember saying to her, I really believe it. I really believe that it can. And I'd never been asked that question before, but I remember in that moment feeling super inspired by just my gut reaction, which was deep down in my heart and my gut. I believed that this business is going places, that we're in the right place at the right time, that we're really just getting started. We're really just starting to figure things out. And that, you know, that I was excited and passionate about selling a product to people that they love and appreciate and would have the rest of their lives, and that I could see a bigger business opportunity than what currently existed, and I still see a much bigger business opportunity than what's going on right now. And so that is why I had the confidence to say, we'll figure it out. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know how this is going to be the thing for us, but we'll figure it out and we'll do it together. And you know, my main motivation has been just about building a life that puts my beautiful, amazing, wonderful, do we have any Amy Mueller fans in the room? Yeah. If so, yeah. So, for me, it's all about putting my beautiful, wonderful wife in a place where she never has to worry again about anything, where she's got anything she could ever want, and that we have the financial stability and security to get us through the rest of our lives and give back to others and live our passions and do so in a way where we've really earned that privilege. We don't take anything for granted, and we really work hard to earn the loyalty and the support of our clients. So how do you do it, right? It starts with intention. So for me, it's been all about intention. How did I build 8 income streams? How do I get asked all the time, like, how do you do it all, Josh? How do you handle consulting, coaching, vast action, selling Cutco, traveling, like living and actually like sleeping and eating and, drinking water and all those other things around all the other things you do. So number one, for me, it's been work hard and work smart. I heard Jason Jeffrey say that a few years ago, and it inspired me, and I was like, that's the motto right there. Work hard and work smart while pursuing multiple business opportunities or income streams. That's what it's been for me. Like, hey, I know that researching millionaires, I need to have multiple income streams if I want to be a millionaire in a sustainable, stable way. And so I need to create multiple income streams. So currently, I've got Cutco, consulting, coaching and mentoring, speaking, vast action. Amy and I are silent partners in 2 companies. We have multiple investments, and we're about to purchase our first commercial property. So because thanks to everybody in this room, you all have helped us outgrow the house we bought next door to our house and turned into an office. And we to continue expanding the team and continue expanding the support, we have to move into a bigger space. And we just learned and determined, like, hey, listen, we don't want to rent from somebody. We want to buy something and rent it to somebody. So that's what we're doing, right? To create another income stream. And so it's funny, we were in a building the other day and it was $1.7 million. And I was just like trying to wrap my head around $1.7 million. And I was like, okay, we'll figure this one out, So we're not going to buy that building, but we're just excited. We're just very excited about the opportunity that this has created. So, what is it for you, right? What do you really want to do? Why are you really here? And how are you going to get there? What is your number one intention? I love being able to wake up and, when I don't feel like doing coaching calls, when I don't feel like planning an agenda, when I don't feel like reading 1,000 surveys, word for word, person by person, when I don't feel like making another phone call to a customer that wants to buy a cutting board, when I don't feel like going to a show, I pull these things out and I remember, like, what are my intentions? Why am I really doing this? What is this really all about long term? So here's my tips, right? Number one, finances. You've got to get your finances in order if you want to be able to create long-term sustainability and stability, right? So here's my financial plan. It's very simple. It's 10, 20, 50, 20. 10, 20, 50, 20. Every dollar that comes in, that's revenue, and I split that dollar up into 4 different buckets. 10% goes to savings for taxes, and I never touch it, only taxes. 20% goes to savings for my future. That's the first and only bill I pay myself every single week of every single year. And then 50% goes into reinvesting into justifiable deductions for my business. So that can be coaching and training, that can be supplies, that can be making my booth display better. It could be a new system for vast action. It could be, whatever. It could be another staff member to grow our team and allow us to be able to serve at an even higher level and support you guys at an even higher level. It could be anything, but a justifiable business deduction. And then 20% goes to just living my lifestyle. So, for every dollar that comes in, I live off 20% of that. That's what pays my bills. And that means I have to live a very specific lifestyle. I don't drive a Tesla. I don't live in a mansion. I don't have a lot of really nice things because those things aren't important to me. What's important to me is I'm like Matt, travel. I'm like Luke or like Brett Lancaster and Carlton Thompson. Where are my homies at? So these guys love to eat food, and anybody who knows me knows I love to eat food, and we will eat a restaurant from start to finish on the menu when we get a chance. Whatever it is for you, you got to figure that out. But number 2 is time. When I'm managing my time is always project focused, and it's blocked and color coded into my calendar. So when I say project focused, it's like when I'm showing up to a key event, that is the only thing in my calendar, is the only thing I'm focused on during that day. When I've got a day of coaching calls or consulting calls, or my day is split into thirds, it's what's the project right now, and how can I be fully present and operating at the highest level in this project for the people that I'm here to serve. Number 3 is efficiency. Focus on getting better at what you're already good at. Right? So many of us, I think, we're looking for the next new thing, when really, if what's going to get us to the next level is focusing on getting even better at what's already gotten us to where we are today. Right? So what are you already good at? Reflect on that, figure out what makes you great at that, and then ask yourself, challenge yourself, if you were to shift that just 2 millimeters, if you were just to change one thing, what would be the needle that would move you to the next level? Right? I heard Matt Graves say on an audio interview the other day, if any of you are getting our weekly training audios, you might have heard this too. I was listening to it the other day. I remember listening to it when I first interviewed him a couple of years ago, and he said, Josh, my philosophy is if I'm going to be working, I might as well make sure that I'm in a position where I'm 100% prepared to maximize my results for the day. Because if I'm only 80% prepared, or God forbid, 30%, 40%, 50% prepared for that day, I'm going to get 30, 40, 50% of what I could get out of the day. I want to maximize every day, 100% of the time, no matter what. What are you doing on a daily basis to put yourself in the position to be able to maximize your results 100% of the time? Matt will be the first person to tell you he's not perfect, but just having that focus means he's closer to perfect than he would be if he didn't have that focus. So what are you already good at? How can you get better at it? And then 4th is expansion. This is the last thing I'll share with you, but it's a very important one. You know, so many of us were always after that new shiny thing, you know? We get really good at demos and service calls, and then squirrel! Oh, the realtor program, or whatever it is, right? All of our programs are great. You can make a ton of money. You can build a great business and lifestyle doing it. We have people in this room that are doing that, right? I think Chelsea Banks is 50-50. Realtor and events. You know, Deanna Scortino is similar. There's so many people in here that leverage multiple layers. So, but here's what ends up happening. I've seen it happen to so many people over the years, and it's almost happened to me a couple times too, is people, they see the new shiny thing, and then they set down everything that they've done to become successful in order to go after the new shiny thing, and a few months later, they realize it was a lot harder, it took a lot more time and money than they thought it was going to, and now they're out of money, and now they're not sure what to do because they're kind of in this like purgatory, this limbo between programs, right? So, you know, I want to share with you what I've done to consistently expand my capacity without sacrificing what's already working for me. Because if I set down what's already working for me to go after something new, I'm not expanding my business. I'm not expanding my opportunity. I'm trading business. I'm trading one opportunity for another. And I'm not in the business to make trades, right? I'm in the business to grow my lifestyle, to achieve my goals, to continue to expand my capacity. So how do you do that, right? My goal has always been to add opportunities, not train one for another. So I think that's a guiding principle to keep in mind. The way I've found success is get skilled at something, then systemize it, because when you build a step-by-step system to support the things you do over and over and over again, they can then be replicated, right? If you don't have a system to teach, it's hard to teach somebody how to do what you do because it's all just in your head. When you've mapped out a system, a step-by-step process, you're in a position where you can then leverage it. Then, second step, optimize the system. So systemize it, get really good and really skilled at something, then systemize it, and then optimize it. Optimization is really just about paying attention to the system and seeing how it works, identifying the cracks and the holes, figuring out the creative solutions to patch up those holes, to seal those cracks, so that the system is optimized. It's as efficient and as effective as humanly possible. And then you leverage it, right? Then you leverage it. Because once I have a system and once I have an optimized system, I can pay Luke Mills to do it for me, or Matt Graves to do it for me. I could hire anybody to do it for me and say, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to train you, I'm going to give you the tools, the training, the support that you need to be successful with this, and then I can focus on what I'm best at while someone else focuses on all the other stuff, like Matt talked about, right? So systemize, optimize, leverage. Then you'll have the additional bandwidth that you need to take on the next opportunity, right? And that's the idea. If you want to expand your income streams, get really, really good at one thing at a time, systemize, optimize, and leverage it. Once you leverage it, now keep the one thing you're best at. So when I'm with customer, or in my Cutco business, the one thing I'm best at is selling. So if it's a sales activity, I'm selling, right? I'm calling the customers, I'm getting the orders, right? Because that's what I'm best at. Everything else is systemized, optimized, and leveraged. And that creates the space in my calendar for me to take on the next opportunity. And then get really good at that. Systemize it, optimize it, leverage it. And then boom, you've got more bandwidth. You can take on the next project, and then the next project, and the next project, and the next project. So hopefully that helps.